Somewhere in America right now, there is a town with traffic lights still blinking, mail still arriving, and exactly 4 people walking around. Maybe 5. The high school closed in 1987. The diner has been reopening soon since the Bush administration, the first Bush administration. The wind moves through the empty streets like it's trying to remember what people sounded like. These are America's ghosts-like towns. Not quite abandoned, somebody still lives there, but barely hanging on. Some of them are dying slowly, some of them are weirdly haunting. All of them will give you the kind of full body shiver you can't explain to your therapist. Stick around for number 1, it's the kind of place that makes you understand why people invented horror movies. 10. Calico, California. Calico was a silver mining boomtown in the 1880s. At its peak, 1,200 people. By 1907, it was abandoned. Then, in the 1950s, Walter Knott, yes, of Knott's Berry Farm, bought it, restored it, and turned it into a kind of living ghost town. Now, it's a tourist attraction, but only barely. The wooden buildings creak, the dirt streets are empty most of the day. After the tourists leave, it's just you, the wind, and the unsettling sense that maybe the original residents never quite left. 9. Bannack, Montana. Bannack was Montana's first territorial capital. In 1862, it was a thriving gold rush town of 10,000 people. By the 1940s, the gold ran out, the people left, the buildings stayed. Today, Bannack is a state park, 60 original buildings still standing, no residents, 0, but it's preserved exactly as it was abandoned. You can walk into the old schoolhouse, the hotel, the jail, and the locals will tell you with absolutely straight faces that the place is haunted. Multiple ghosts, allegedly photographed. The state of Montana is on record. It's that kind of ghost town. 8. Centralia, Pennsylvania. Centralia is the famous one, but it earns its spot because it is genuinely terrifying. In 1962, a fire started in the coal mines underneath the town. It's still burning, 60 plus years later. Underneath the streets, smoke and steam vent from cracks in the road. The ground is hot to the touch in places. The federal government condemned the entire town in the 1990s. Most people left. A handful of stubborn residents, fewer than 5, refuse to go and are still there. The remaining houses sit isolated on a grid of streets that lead to nothing. The town's zip code was revoked in 2002. This is the place that inspired the Silent Hill video game. Don't go alone. Honestly, just don't go. 7. Thurmond, West Virginia. Thurmond was once one of the busiest train depots in West Virginia, coal country. The buildings are still there, the bank, the hotel, the depot, preserved by the National Park Service. The trains still pass through, they just don't stop. It's a town that exists on paper, in the census, in the records, and on the ground it's basically a stage set with a cast of 5 people who refuse to leave. 6. Rhyolite, Nevada. Rhyolite was a boomtown in 1905. By 1916, it was abandoned. The hotel ruins still stand. The old bank, once one of the most beautiful buildings in the Nevada desert, is a hollowed-out shell with sky visible through the empty windows. And then there's the famous Bottle House, built in 1906 entirely out of 50,000 beer and liquor bottles. It's still standing. The desert preserves things in weird ways. Rhyolite isn't haunted exactly, it's worse. It's empty in a way that makes you feel watched. 5. Kennecott, Alaska. Deep in the Rangel Mountains of Alaska, accessible only by a 60-mile dirt road, sits Kennecott, an abandoned copper mining complex from the early 1900s. The buildings are painted blood red. They rise up out of the wilderness like a Tim Burton fever dream. The mines closed in 1938. The town emptied within weeks. Today, it's a National Historic Landmark, but there's almost nobody there. A few seasonal staff. Some tourists in summer. In winter, nothing. The buildings stand alone in the Alaskan dark, surrounded by glaciers and silence. It is one of the most genuinely eerie places in America. 4. Glen Rio, New Mexico/Texas. Glen Rio sits exactly on the New Mexico-Texas border, right on the old Route 66. In its heyday, it had motels, diners, gas stations, a school. Then, Interstate 40 bypassed it in the 1970s, and the town died almost instantly. What's left is a perfect time capsule of a 1960s Route 66 town. The old First and Last Motel, First and Last in Texas depending on which way you were driving, still stands with its neon sign half fallen. The streets are empty, a few buildings are inhabited by exactly 1 or 2 people, the rest is just slow decay under a huge sky. 3. Cahaba, Alabama. Cahaba was once the capital of Alabama. Yes, the capital. Founded in 1819, it was Alabama's first state capital. Floods, yellow fever, and the Civil War broke it. By the 1900s, it was abandoned. Today, it's an archaeological park. Stone columns from former mansions stand alone in the woods. The brick foundations of an entire downtown are slowly being reclaimed by Spanish moss and kudzu. A few historic buildings remain intact. And the whole place has a weight to it, the kind of silence you only find where a city used to be. 2. St. Elmo, Colorado. St. Elmo, Colorado is one of the best preserved ghost towns in America. Founded in 1880 as a silver mining camp. Population peaked around 2,000. The railroad closed in 1922. By the 1950s, the last residents had effectively left. The buildings are still standing, the general store, the saloon, the houses, preserved by the dry mountain air at 10,000 feet. Today, fewer than 5 people technically live there year-round. In summer, tourists come. In winter, it is one of the most beautifully eerie places in the United States. Snow up to the rooflines. Silence so deep it feels physical. 1. Body. California. Body. The benchmark. In 1880, Bodie was a Wild West boomtown of 10,000 people. It had 65 saloons. The Methodist Church was, allegedly, the only one on the entire main street. There were shootings every day. The local newspaper headlined one Sunday, "Goodbye, God, I'm going to Bodie." By the 1940s, it was empty. Now it's a state park preserved in arrested decay, meaning the state of California specifically maintains the town in exactly the state it was abandoned. Dishes still on tables, pool balls still on pool tables, school books still open on desks, 200 buildings still standing, 0 residents. A handful of park rangers who, off the record, will tell you stories about objects that move on their own. Voices, lights in windows of empty houses. The legend is that anything you take from Bodie is cursed. The rangers receive packages every year from people returning items they took, begging for the curse to lift. Bodie is the realest ghost town in America. Don't go there alone. Don't take anything. Don't pretend you don't believe in this stuff. You'll believe in it before you get back to your car. 10 places where America's past hasn't quite let go. Some you can visit, some you probably shouldn't. All of them will make you understand that this country has a lot more ghosts than it likes to admit. Drop a comment, which one would you visit, and which one would you absolutely avoid? I want to know who's brave and who's smart, because those are very different categories. And hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming, including a deep dive on the absolute worst states to retire in 2026, and the surprise places Americans are actually moving to right now. See you in the next one.